Shalom, I'm Angel. Welcome to Healthy in Heart, and I hope you are healthy in heart, mind, body, and soul today. So today I'm going to give another tip that has helped me, and that was not eating out. Now, we ended up having to stop the eating out because of dietary restrictions and allergies. But once the allergies resolved, it became a choice that we don't. We prepare our foods at home. And I know a lot of you guys aren't going to like this. But you can't control what goes in your food, what goes in your body, if you're eating it somewhere else. Someone else is preparing it for you. You cannot control that. You can control how much you eat of it, but you can't control what goes in it. It is notorious that fast foods and when you go out to eat in restaurants, they're loaded with fat. Why? Fat, salt, sugar is really the trifecta of addiction when it comes to food. If you have addictions when it comes to food, then this can be like opening the door to Pandora's box. Now, I used to stop at the fast food store, fast food restaurants, at least once a week. Usually it was more than that. I would stop after I took Kelsey to school. I would stop when she got home from school, sometimes for dinner. A lot of times for dinner we'd have fast food. Even though I had stuff in the refrigerator to make, in the freezer to make, I would still stop and get fast food because I was lazy. I didn't want to cook. I'm just being honest. But being lazy is another way of putting on yourself. And so I'm not going to go into that. That was another video. But just think about this. How much money do you spend? Track it for a month. How much money are you spending eating out? Fast food, anything that's pre-prepared for you. How much are you spending? And understand that you can make that for 1/10 of the cost at home, and make sure you have wholesome, whole ingredients, whole plant ingredients in there that are healthy for you, that are not going to destroy your health, but build it up. You know, just looking at some statistics, Renolon.com, they have some statistics about just fast food alone, not just restaurants, but fast food alone. Over $200 billion is spent in the United States a year on fast food. And when you're grabbing that burger, you think, oh, well, you know, this is easier for me. It's fast. It's on my way home. I can do other things when I get home instead of having to cook. But here's the thing, you're not realizing that little sandwich that's not really going to fill you up for very long is over 1,000 calories. That's almost half of your daily expenditure for calories. It adds up. When you go out, say you go out to eat a steak dinner, we used to do that all the time. You don't know how much fat they fry that in. I mean, there's fat in the meat itself, but there's also fried in butter. Most of the time steaks are fried in butter. I discovered that when I became lactose intolerant and allergic to the protein in milk. So you can't control how much fat is in foods. You can't control what other ingredients are in foods, like the mysterious artificial flavors or natural flavors. You can't control it, and you don't know what goes in there. Because of our beliefs, we also can't eat anything that's been cooked with something that's been unclean, that is unclean, an animal that's unclean. So if they fry bacon on a griddle and then fry a steak on the griddle, guess what? That steak's now unclean. So that's another thing that we've had to think about. Maybe that doesn't apply to you, but that's fine. But playing mind games with yourself, and that's going to be a big theme, because that's one thing that I really used to, well, I do a lot, and I'm switching it to make it work for me. The mind games that I'm playing, I'm making them work for me instead of against me. So you know, that was one of the things. I mean, and there are some other issues that I'll discuss later in a later video that involve fast food, but we don't eat out. We'll go out to eat with our friends and our family to their house. We will bring our own food because everyone who knows us knows we have specific food requirements, and they're not offended by that. You know why? Because they would rather spend time with us than get offended over what we eat. So we'll bring food that we can eat, and they can eat too, enough to share. And, you know, there's no issue. We are eating food that's healthy for us, and we're sharing it with them. And believe it or not, most of the time, our food gets eaten first. But you spend a lot of money, a lot of calories eating out. And if you're not aware of what you're doing, you're not honest with yourself, then you're only deluding yourself. You're lying to yourself, and you're quitting on yourself if you're not. You've got to pay attention. And the best way to do that is prepare your food at home. And you can have, and I'll perhaps cover this in a separate video, you can have things that save you time, like batch cooking. Things like that can save you time when you worked all day and then you come home and you don't feel like fixing anything. You can have something ready to heat up. So there are things you can do to work that in with your life, but understand that fast food is addictive on purpose because they want you to come, they want you to spend your money and give it to them to make you sick, because that's what you're doing. You're paying them to make you sick. That was a hard realization for me. That's kind of the same thing as smoking. When you smoke, you're paying the manufacturer of the cigarettes to make you sick, to give you cancer, to end your life sooner. It's the same thing with fast food. And I hate to say it, but eating out at restaurants, the portion sizes are much too large. You don't know how many calories, like a bowl of pasta can be over 1,000 calories when you can make the same thing at home with healthy ingredients for 200 or 300 calories versus 1,000. You don't know how many calories are actually in that food. You don't know what ingredients are actually in that food. And the only way to control that is to make the food yourself. And like I said, we got started doing that because of allergies, food allergies. Our daughter was allergic to garlic, which it was just in everything. Her food allergies have since resolved themselves, but you know, that was actually beneficial to our health because we ended up having to make everything from scratch at home. And so that was actually a blessing in disguise, not just for her health, but for our health as well. So I know you guys don't like to hear that, you know, but that was one of the biggest things that cut the number of calories I was eating, and, you know, forced me to eat healthier, to make those healthier choices at home. Drop your comments below. I'd love to hear from you. Like, share, subscribe. I really hope these tips are beneficial to you. Yahweh bless you and keep you and give you shalom. Until next time. God bless.